kind of her cousin does kind of say that.
And once people started bringing it up, did you ask the writers if
I haven't asked. I thought if I tweeted, somebody would be watching the tweets and would chime in from the writers' room. Because it was, I don't even remember which episode it was that she said it on, so I don't know if it was that particular show's writing room or the producers or I'm sure they would say that they intended it.
And Caity, you know I have to ask you, because someone else is going to ask you anyways, the team up of you, your character, and Alex was insane. First of all, it was, but like, for me it was in a good way, because you guys are so, like, as far as the team, you're so well matched as a team, and it was awesome to see you guys kicking ass. Did you guys have just the best time?
We had so much fun. I had never met Tyler before, so it was interesting because we're like, oh, we're doing all of this together now. And I think the first scene we shot was like us waking up in bed, like naked together. I was like, hey, I'm Caity. It's really nice to meet you. But we had so much fun, and she's such a phenomenal woman, and yeah, I don't use that lightly. Like, she really is, she's a mother of 3, and like, the kind of hours and what we do, I can't even take care of myself, like, and just Beasley, like, trying to take care of him and myself is a struggle, and she's got 3 kids. So she really is like a superwoman, and just a really great person, so we had a lot of fun doing that stuff together.
Well, I'm kind of a fan of Ava and Sarah, and we get to see that team up next week for the mid-season finale. And am I supposed to sense chemistry, or?
I don't know.
But
I don't know. I mean, like, so far we've just kind of hated each other. We'll see what that turns into, yeah.
You guys, if you have questions, you guys are all already there. Hello. We can start over here. Go ahead.
Good morning. No, I mean good afternoon.
Good morning.
This is a question for both of you guys, and my name is Anastasia. Anastasia, since you two are both shows, Arrow and The Legends of Tomorrow, what do you guys enjoy the most from each show?
Good question. For me, on Arrow, I really loved getting to do a lot of really emotional stuff. I think Sarah's character at that point was in a lot of turmoil, so acting-wise, there's a lot to work with. And we also did a lot of really cool stunts with like water, this, and like, so that was cool. And on Legends, my favorite part is the comedy, I think. Getting on a show where you don't have to like take everything seriously. Like, we're not like, oh my God, we have to save the world. It's like, oh yeah, we gotta save the world again. Like, and just on set too, we laugh a lot, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed Ray and Felicity and that relationship, and working with Emily, and having all that scene, and Ray in business mode as a tech genius was a lot of fun to play. And I got to do humor on that show as well, which I was happy about, but I get to do even more on Legends, and even in a different volume or in a different tone, and I enjoy that. I get to be fairly silly, which I have a lot of fun with. As Caity's mentioning, I think that's the good thing as our shows continued on in season 3. We're getting into finding the true tone of Legends, and it does have a lot more humor, which I think is a good place for our show to be. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Go ahead.
In the next episode, will you travel back in time to meet famous rock stars like the Beatles, Elvis? Will you meet David Bowie first?
There's no David Bowie as far as I know as of yet. Though we do have an episode where we play musicians, or we impersonate musicians. In the 70s episode, a la the Bee Gees, essentially.
No, ABBA.
Oh, sorry, I keep thinking you're right, it's ABBA.
And
I think maybe I kept wanting to name it. I think I kept wanting to make it the Bee Gees instead of ABBA.
And one more thing. Do you think Superman Returns is a Superman sequel that Christopher Reeve would have played if not only he was alive, but if he hadn't broke his neck?
Well, I think that the nice thing about Superman Returns is it was an homage to the wonderful work that Chris and that whole team did. And we very much wanted to keep it in line with that energy of what Superman was to so many people the first time people had seen him on the big screen, and to keep that energy as a transition, which is a very challenging thing to do with such a beloved character and actor playing that role. So I feel like he would have been proud of what we all accomplished and his legacy.
Oh. Have you played Superman 64?
A video game?
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
Good.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
No, if we do David Bowie, I dibs getting to impersonate David Bowie.
I'd be into that.
What's your favorite time period that you had to shoot so far?
I love the Camelot episode that we did last season. The opportunity to sword fight was kind of a dream for me, so I look forward to going back or just having a sword fight again for some reason.
I always like going into the 60s. Yeah, it was a cool time. I kind of wish I got to live in that period for a bit.
Caity is a flower child.
Thank you.
So ever since it happened, I've always been wondering, I mean, it happened in the crossover, but are Alex and Sarah going to get together again?
Well, everybody saw the crossovers, right? So, I'm not spoiling
If
anything.
you haven't, plug your ears or leave the room.
I think Sarah and Alex, by the end of it, it was very clear that they're just friends. I think they had a night that was like fun, and they both kind of needed that kind of connection, and they stuck together, and it was like they talked about their relationships and giving each other advice, and I don't see a relationship between the two of them. They're more like best friends, and I hope that we can keep that going, because I feel like Sarah would call up Alex and be like, hey girl, so I met this chick, or I met this guy, what should I do? Because Alex has a very pretty level-headed girl, and I feel like Sarah could call upon her for advice.
On her phone that can cross the earth.
Exactly.
Thank you.
I was wondering, what was your favorite episode to film so far?
The Camelot episode.
It's really hard to pick. Though I really did like our Shogun episode, which was the one we went to ancient Japan, because I liked wearing those clothes, they were really comfy, robe clothes, and getting to do sword fights in the forest. That was fun.
Thank you. Okay, so another spoiler from the crossover, Stein dies. If anyone hasn't seen it, I'm so sorry. How do you feel about not being able to work with Victor Garber, and how do you feel about Jax possibly coming back as a sticky man?
I loved that part of the crossovers. I thought that was so funny. I remember watching them where they're filming it, and yeah, Victor's like, I can make you into a superhero. And he's like, Jack's like, yeah, tell me, what is it? He's like, you will stick to things. He's like, what? Crappy superhero. We miss Victor Garber already. I mean, we're on episode 13 now, so we've been working without him for a bit, and we all miss him, but I saw him, I think, at Atlanta, and he had his mustache and all that jazz, and he was like, yes, darling, it's for Broadway. So I think he's doing all right without us. He's fine, but we do miss him.
I think should all feel grateful that we had him for as long as we did. He's a tremendous actor and tremendous man, and brought a great grounded presence to our show, and kicked us off really well. And I think we're speaking for Caity, we're both very happy to have met him and worked with him, and wish him the best.
Are we going to see the fallout of his death again in this next week's episode?
It definitely has an effect on Jax and the rest of the team, so we'll continue to see that probably, and remnants of that for several episodes.
And wait, could I take a selfie with you guys after the panel?
Yeah, I guess so. But you're the last one, so
Thank you.
back to business.
I was wondering what your hardest scene ever to film was.
The hardest scene ever to film.
In the Arrowverse, Legends of Tomorrow. You mean?
Yeah, in the Arrow.
Or just in everything I've ever done.
Okay, let's do everything you've ever done.
Oh. I don't know if it was the hardest scene, but it was one that I took the most sincerely, and that was in Jason's bedroom in Superman Returns when Superman visits his son. Spoiler, if you haven't seen Superman Returns. Because it was such a direct homage to what had come before, and his first real connection with his son as Superman will always be a great memory for me, but also was very challenging, and I wanted to make sure that I got it right.
It's just really bright.
I've been staring at it for 5 hours.
Yeah. But it also suits my answer. Every time I have to die. I really don't like it. Like, I know some people really like dying on camera. I don't like it. It makes me sad, and like it involves usually like fake blood that's cold and gooey and gets everywhere. And then you gotta make stupid faces. And it's just like, you never feel, you're never cool when you're dying, right? So you don't get to die like, oh. You're like, and then you're like, oh my goodness, this is really embarrassing. So all the times that I've died, and that happens a lot.
You know, Caity, I always imagined you with like a chalkboard and just like crossing, doing the tallies of how many times you've died and just like crossing them out to keep track.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm like, they'll do like stuff where they're like, and then, when I'm in your arms in that Hollywood episode, and your eyes are open and everyone's like, is Sarah dead? And I'm like, guys, we've done that enough. We're gonna close my eyes, Sarah's in a coma, we don't need to pretend like I'm dead. Like, they've seen it enough times. The next time I'm dead, it needs to be real.
Really dead.
It needs to be real the next time. That's what I'm telling
Then your doppelganger would just pop up.
Yeah. And I'd be like, I'm actually
We
Routh
recreated
and Sarah Lotz.
Thank you.
It's your twin. It's from another Earth.
The whole time,
That's what you
Laurel
just
and I have another sister that we don't know about. An evil twin that Lance kept in the basement of the attic.
Gray Canary.
It's like a whole round box.
Never a yellow, but where is there a yellow canary?
I don't think there is.
No, I don't think there's. Good.
Hi, my name is Morgan, and I was just wondering if you were to pair two characters from your show to make the ultimate OTP, who would they be?
Did you say OTP? Okay.
Overtime team?
That's an
like
OTP.
couples. Over the top team?
Yeah, okay, if you could choose anyone from the Arrow universe?
Yeah, like a power
From the
couple.
Arrow universe and couple them
Oh, like
together.
an all-star team.
No, like a relationship.
Oh,
love.
like with us or just in general?
In your show.
But like with them or other characters?
Oh, other characters.
Other characters.
Oh, so
you get to
who do
pair
we
up
want to
other
like
people
play
in the
Cupid
Arrowverse.
for? Like if you were gonna be matchmaker, who would you matchmaker?
Oh, okay. Doesn't have to be me.
No,
Matchmaking me. Okay, good.
Someone else. It's Sunday, guys. It's Sunday.
Okay, well, I'm like
I think
really,
I-
I'm thinking about it because I'm like,
Okay,
I don't want to
well,
I got
entertain
one. I got an answer.
Yeah.
So, Heat Wave and
Snow?
yeah,
Caleb Snow?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, but
Killer Frost.
Killer Frost. Thank you.
Yeah, Heat Wave.
That would be funny if, like, Killer Frost was dating Heatwave.
Yeah, but not- but-
Caitlin Snow
Exactly.
was not.
Only-
Yeah, so it was like when she would like wake up and she's Caitlin Snow.
So
she's
she-
like, what?
So wait. Should be hot and cold. How about Heat Wave?
That's a good one. Thank you.
Okay, hi. First of all, I love your show. Second of all, besides being an actor, what would your career be?
That's a good question. Well, I was going to the University of Iowa as an English major. So before I started, I wanted to be a writer. And I wanted to write fiction, like fantasy novels. And I would have done the graphic design, advertising, to make money until I became a famous author. But then this happened.
Oh, it's live, sorry.
Got in the way of your true career.
I'm pretty happy with this one.
I don't know. Like, what do I want to do, or what would I be like good at? I could do.
Like, what would you want to do?
Okay, just anything.
Good or bad?
Astronaut. I'd like to be an astronaut.
Do you like math? Science?
Okay, this was a dream question. This isn't about what could you do, so I don't need you pooping on my dreams, Brandon. Just because I fell short, all right? Yeah, an astronaut.
Thank you.
Hi, you guys. My name's Dino. So my question is, well, I guess for Caity, now that we have Damien Dark back on the show and the Constantine episode on the way, is there any potential that Sarah might get like a Hosen tattoo that Oliver has so that she can combat his magic?
I missed the last part. Now that we have Constantine on the show, is there a chance that what?
That Oliver got a tattoo that Constantine gave him to shield him from magic? Or magic wouldn't work on him.
Basically, it didn't work on him.
And then he asked, would Sarah get one so that way Damien Dark's magic wouldn't work on him?
Wait, that exists, and I don't have that?
Now you know.
Yeah.
Wait, I just did an episode with him, and he didn't give me a tattoo. Wait a second. I'm gonna, next time I talk to Matt Ryan, I'm gonna be like, why didn't you just give me the tattoo? Why are you setting me up for failure?
You know, Damien Dark is another one that dies a lot and comes back.
He's like a cockroach. He's surviving.
Hi, my name's Ariana, and first of all, I want to say, Caity, your dog's really cute.
Thank you.
And also, if you, this is for both of you, if either of you were to have totems like Amaya and Zari, what would you want your power to be?
I really want a totem. It's not fair. The other girls get to have these cool necklaces and powers, and I'm like, have to actually like practically do stuff. I want to be in the club. I mean, I really like Amaya's spirit totem, and I also like that it's just like, it's cool. I want to do that. I don't know which one. Like, there's the water, there's fire, earth. It's like all the elements. They'll probably like give me some crappy one or something. They'll be like, you have a photographic memory totem. And I'll be like, I know the lunch menu. Like,
That would
here
be
it is.
super helpful in an ever-changing timeline. It would be like useless.
Yeah, right?
Maybe like the totem of compassion. I had time to think about it because Katie answered first. Yeah, I think that would suit Ray well because, or something to like impart that sense of calm to people or enemies and to have them feel compassion and then maybe.
Oh, to make other people feel
yeah,
compassion, not you.
Yeah, that would be the power. It'd
Oh.
give them compassion.
We literally, there's like, one of our props guys made stickers and hand them out. And it's a picture of Brandon. And it's like, practice Brandon acts of kindness instead of random acts of kindness. It's really sweet.
It's very cool.
Thank you.
My question is for Katie. Would you like to see a scene where Sarah meets and fights Black Siren?
I mean, I really want them to meet. I want to see, because I have no idea where they would go with it. And it's also, like, not her sister, right? It's not Laurel. But it would be kind of hard to not feel like that's your sister when it looks just like your sister. So, yeah, I'd love to see that.
You know what was a hard scene to watch was in the crossover episode when it obviously was not Quentin Lance, Earth 1, but when he, your character does that great speech on why you're with them, and then he goes, oh, I had a daughter who thought the same thing, which crushed her from existence or something like that. That was a hard scene to watch, because the face.
When we shot that, like, I wasn't expecting any of that to happen. Like, I think the line was different before. Like, it was all a little bit different. It wasn't so, like, Sarah was very much like, I don't, whatever, like, angry. And, like, when we got there and started doing it, and I just see, like, this is my dad, and this is what my dad's, like, who I haven't seen in so long, and to hear him say that and stuff, it was so heartbreaking. Like, I couldn't be mad. Like, I was just heartbroken. And that was a fun one and interesting to see because it's not how it was written or how I thought it would go. It totally. Paul's such a great actor too. It just really, he's great. He's fun to work
It
with.
was awesome to see him in that role. I really thought it was great.
A little too good at it. It's like, why are you so good at being a Nazi, huh?
Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Ephraim. I'm Gary. All right, and then this is a question for Brandon's character.
Did you say Gabe or gay?
I get that all the time. It's Garrett.
Gary.
Garrett.
Oh, I thought you said, and I'm gay.
I thought this was your coming out.
Okay. I love it.
Well, for Brandon's character, Felicity or Hot Girl? And then Katie, same question.
Felicity. She was, I mean, that was, I think that was a better match for Ray, both in just who they are and how that relationship was developed. I think, unfortunately, Kendra and Ray didn't get the development that they should have, based off of the show and the fighting Vandal Savage and just kind of the conceit of the show during season 1. There wasn't enough time to really give their relationship the time that it needed. Though they were a good match, I think, Felicity was a slightly better match for Ray.
Cool.
I think I will die. It's Felicity because then Sarah could like go up to Oliver and be like, "Yo, I got your girl."
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jericho. Unfortunately, with there being a vacant spot in your team now, I was wondering if you guys got to recruit a new legend to your team, whether it's from someone that's already in the Arrowverse or someone that hasn't appeared yet, who would you like to recruit?
I mean, yeah, we already know. And who I already know is one that makes me very happy.
In lieu of that person, if the Flash was ever out of a job, he should come join us. And or the aforementioned Felicity.
Thank you.
could be anyone in the Arrowverse, who would you be?
Sarah Lance?
Besides your own character.
Oh.
I would either say Cisco or any of the many characters that Tom Cavanaugh gets to play. Because he gets to morph and be, so many different characters and does such a fantastic job with it.
I think Supergirl. There is something that's really cool, just such an iconic character. I find too, it's like White Canary. Did you read that comic? No. Did you see that comic? No. All right. It's harder, I think, to build characters when people don't have an emotional connection to it already. And I think it would be really cool to play a character that people have grown up with and really feel that connection. I think that's something really special to be able to do.
But you are making White Canary and giving people an emotional connection to White Canary, which is very unique.
It's so much work.
Hey, standing in the legacy of someone else is also very challenging.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's a lot of pressure. It's really true. Because then people are like, you didn't do it the way I saw it in my mind.
Thank you.
The legends have traveled to the past all the time, and they only went to the future like once, I think. Do you think they'll be going to the future again at some point?
I think we've gone to the future like 3 times.
Zari's from the future.
And with future, and this season we've only been to the future once. So maybe that's what you're saying. The future episodes are, they're never that exciting for me personally, and the future's hard to tell what it's going to be like, and it's always like this gray dystopian future, which is, I don't know, makes the show not feel like Legends to me when we go. If we did like a fun future episode, maybe that's what we need.
Yeah, why does nobody think the future's going to be fun?
Yeah.
Like what? Why?
Like a world, like an episode where the Legends actually do save time for everyone, and everyone's just like having a big party.
Yeah, utopian future.
Yeah,
That'd be cool to go.
future.
You know what else too? It is hard to film future
Utopia.
episodes and look good. It costs a lot of money to make something future really feel future, where you're like, wow. I think it's just hard to film the future.
There's also that stigma on, you have to be careful what you show in the future episodes, because then people expect that that's the timeline that's going to happen. Like when the Legends went and Connor Hawk was there,
yeah.
so they expect it to
What
end
happened to Connor?
What happened to baby Sarah is more important.
Oh, because she's a boy now, right?
Connor.
I was really upset about that, in case anybody was wondering. There was a baby named after me, and Barry decided
David talked about it and
messed it up, and
he's sad about it too.
why couldn't he still be called Sarah? I mean, we're in a gender fluid world now. Like, it's still Sarah.
Exactly. We have time. I was really excited about that. Okay. We have time for a few more questions, so go ahead.
Hi. First off, Brandon, I really loved your character of Todd in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And first off, I want to know, what was it like being on that set with Edgar Wright, the director, and all the cast you're working with, like Aubrey Plaza, Brie Larson, Michael Cera, and everybody that was there? And second, did you actually bleach your hair white and learn to play bass guitar to play Todd in that movie?
One of those things is true. I did learn to play bass for that, but I know it was a wig, blonde wig, thankfully. It was a great time. Edgar's an amazing director, genius, and loves film, and was such a great presence and leader, not only of the cast but of the whole crew, and it was one of the most fun sets I've ever worked on, and then getting to work with all those extremely talented, funny people who were all engaged and gung-ho and ready to make a really awesome film. It was a blast.
Yeah, because that was probably my favorite comic book movie of 2010 right there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen my dog? Well, I see you. Who said that? I remember your face. Photographic memory totem.
Hi. So it's already been spoiled, so I don't feel bad about it. The Arrowverse makes a mockery of death, but Steins felt very, very final. How is that going to affect the original cast members from the Legends? So Ray, Sarah, Jax, and Heatwave. And how is his death going to affect that core group who has known him and interacted with him in a much more kind of fatherly position on the team?
Well, it'll affect Jax most of all. But everyone else, I mean, you see in the episode, you know, Ray is fairly taken aback by the loss, and that continues through episodes of the season as we, you know, talk about him in memory and that kind of thing. And you know, it's an emotional loss for the team. The first, not the first one they've suffered, but yeah, I mean, he made a big impact, and you know, will continue to in certain ways.
I think Sarah's like, well, he was old. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, everybody misses him. You know, it was heartbreaking, but I thought they did a great job with his death. When I read the script, I cried. Like, it was very heroic and emotional, and I think they did a really nice exit for him.
Thank you. Hi. So I'm here with my aunt today, and she is a special needs teacher. She has her own disability as well, which is why she can't be up here asking this question. But we were wondering what advice you had for like her students' own villains, which would be bullies.
For students, what?
Advice you would give to her students about bullying.
About being bullied?
Yes.
It's a great question. I think it's okay. Aww, you don't have to leave. That's so hard. I think a lot of the bad things that happen, and we want to educate people and make them not bullies and this and that, and we can do a lot to help that, but to some extent, it's a part of life. The people, it's when someone's bullying you, it usually has nothing to do with you. I think that's the biggest thing, and it's hard to realize that because it still hurts and it's still hard, but really it has nothing to do with you. When someone's bullying you, that is their own insecurities, and if you can be more in tune to that, it allows you to not take it so personal, which is not easy, and you're still going to take it personal sometimes, but that to me is the only thing that kind of has helped me, is if I can kind of see, oh, well, you know, this person said that to me because they feel insecure, or they feel bad about the way their body looks or what they're doing or this, and so they're trying to bring me down with them. And that way it's not like about me, it's about them, and so I don't feel as personally attacked.
I think that's where compassion comes in, and when you are being bullied, I think it's extremely challenging to then have compassion for the person who's bullying you. But like Katie's saying, it's some kind of reflection of how they feel about themselves that they are putting on you, that they are working through, and they obviously have an issue with. And to tell somebody who's being bullied, have compassion for that person is a challenge. But that's a place where I've come to in my life, I guess, because I'm much older than kids going high school, middle school, and all of those things. But I wasn't bullied terribly, but I was verbally, you know, not treated great by some people.
They're like, you're so tall, you're so handsome, gross. I'm just kidding. I know we're all bullied about everything.
I'm not the person now that I was in high school. Anyway, so I wasn't popular. So it's kind of a lifelong experience, kind of figuring out how to deal with people. Life is about relationships and working through relationships, and the core thing is that you know who you are. And if you're hanging out with people who don't accept and don't appreciate you, then they're not people to hang out with. And if you don't like them, then it doesn't matter what they think about you. And also, if people are saying bad things about you, they don't know who you really are. So they're just not speaking the truth. And you know the truth about yourself. Those are all hard things to remember and to take heart when that stuff is happening, I know. But if there's something that somebody can hold on to from that, then I hope you do. And also know, I mean, as with everything, when you're young and in school, life, as people say, it's cliche, life gets better, but it does. And every kid is still trying to work out who they are and who they want to be. That's why people are so harsh to each other. Adults are doing that. We have people who are supposed to be taking our best interests at heart who are doing that, who have petty issues and can't take responsibility for their actions, for their mistakes. Some of the highest people in the land can't take responsibility for the mistakes that they've made. And I think this is an opportunity, I'm on my soapbox, sorry. I think this is an opportunity for us all to see America's ego and maybe the world's ego on stage. And this is what your ego looks like. This is what lack of responsibility looks like. And is this the America that all of you want to be? If everyone can be treated equally, then it shouldn't be that way. If anybody's getting discriminated of anything that's different from anybody, we can't stand for that. We're all people, we're all humans, we all deserve to be on this earth and to love and all of those things. And I'll finish. But anyway,
Everyone, that's all we have time for today, but I think that's a good note. So let's thank our legends for being here.
Thank you. Who's the young lady? The young lady wanted a selfie. We have to honor that. Come on. Who's the guy that asked for the selfie?
Pet the dog.
Guys, this is the only selfie request we're doing today. So thank you. So just come by their booth if you want to.
Thanks.
Season.
I'm so sorry, someone's right there. Oh, no, someone's right behind you. Wait, someone's trying to. Oh my gosh. So sorry.
Sorry.
Lady with the cane. Sorry.
Okay.
I love Brandon even more.